Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today on wonderful Wednesday? Yes, it's been a while since we've been on LinkedIn Live, but we had to come back because, of course, you know how the old saying goes. Sometimes you can't let a good thing die, so you got to keep on going with it. So we're not going to let this thing die on LinkedIn Live. We're going to keep on moving forward with it. So again, we're back on LinkedIn Live, but I'm so humbled and honored to introduce to you our special guest today, Michelle Whiteside. She is going to be sharing her story with us today on Conversations for Humanity, and we're just so glad that she is here. Michelle, how are you doing today on Wonderful Wednesday?
I'm good. I'm better than I think. I'm doing great. Thank you.
You
How are
got to tell
you?
me now first, how's the weather?
Um, it's been really hot here, but it's cooled down. So it's kind of nice. It's really hot, hard to go hiking at night when it's hot and stuff like that. And everyone kind of gets a little grumpy because it's warm and um, it's better. It's beautiful today. This is perfect.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but do you know that Keith has been affected by those wildfires?
Oh, I know. I know. And, we, it's been an ongoing issue.
Yeah. He
Mhm.
we actually did a LinkedIn live late one night last week. He called me up at 10 o'clock and he's like, Chris, we got to put something out there. And so I stayed up to midnight here in the East on him on with our LinkedIn live because he was showing all the devastation and everything. It was just unfathomable how big that fire was.
I know. I know. I saw some pictures on my friend's Facebook and stuff. It's awful. Awful.
Yeah. Do
Scary.
you have any
Mhm.
people that you know who actually lives close to there?
I don't. Not this time. I don't. I don't think so. No.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
But
Send
Michelle, we're
prayers and
so
healing
glad that
anyway.
you are here with us today. And I guess your other Michelle that you know said you're so beautiful already. So that's
Oh,
yeah, and everything like that.
well, I love
And
you.
there
Thank you.
is
There's my
Sharon.
sister. My
Sharon, glad
sister.
to see you here too as well. And I don't know who this LinkedIn user. I have to go back and check on the page, but evidently they said hi, Michelle. Thank you, Chris. So let's get right into it. Michelle, we really want to know who you are, not what you do, because I truly believe that's a better question to ask. So please, Michelle, if you could, come tell us who you are and share your story with us here today on Conversations for Humanity.
So that's a loaded question, and I don't think we have enough time. Uh, it's funny. We talked a long time ago. Well, it seems like a long time ago. It's relative. Time's not linear. It definitely isn't these days. And so when we first spoke, I told you a little bit about my story. It hasn't changed so much, but I think the perception has changed because I've changed a lot. Um, but who am I? Who am I? I am a middle-aged woman. No, um, I I'm just like you, actually, and all of us are all very similar. I had a pretty rocky childhood, which I didn't know how rocky it really was till I got older. I raised my kids. I've been a hairdresser for 30 years and turned certified coach when before COVID hit. That was kind of when I started, and it saved my butt because I was coached while I was going through a separation of 28-year marriage, which I didn't know a lot of things then either. As my self esteem grew, I also learned more. But I was one of those kids that, in the time before ADHD was diagnosed, my mom was very critical. I know more now about what that really was, but nevertheless, as a kid, to try to assimilate that, a lot of bullying, things like that, special ed classes, because I had a hard time learning. I didn't read till the third grade. But I was really good with people and adults because I hung out with adults a lot. So I learned very on the people pleasing part because that's where I excelled. And that's where I kind of got my identity, even though I really didn't, because I always had their less than, not enough piece, because I didn't learn like everybody else. But I worked at Nordstrom. I shut down the whole store with the alarms. I mean, I'm intelligent, but I didn't realize that intelligence doesn't always equate to what you learn in school. And also that there were a few teachers that believed in me that I'll never forget some of the words they've said. And so that's when my passion for kids, I kind of fell into it. I have kids, but it's very different. And it's been a whole healing process for me. I had lots of jobs. I did what a lot of us do. I got caught up in drugs and alcohol. Um, self-medicated. I felt like I was normal because of my ADHD, and then crossed a line. So I've been in a lot of different areas. I've been homeless. I've also been in the country club. It's all the same. But what really hasn't changed is my heart. But I had to do what I was taught with coaching, clearing out old beliefs, clearing out old programming, believing myself. The people in my life began to change. Two of my friends, one's a coach, one works here in my town. They love me till I could love myself, but they are stellar people. The people I have in my life today are, I'm going to get really choked up. And my kids are out of the house and I'm building my practice, and I work at the school once a week with the kids, just believing in them for an hour because I have no idea what I'm doing. No, I have curricular, and I created a nonprofit. And as the hairdresser says, I kid you not, 501 what? And when they say I can't do something, then I do it. I didn't know what it was going to be used for, but I'm using it now for. I'm co-founder of Thrive Alliance, which another two very, very close people to my heart that I'm so blessed to have these quality people and the people I've met on LinkedIn, right? Like I have some wonderful people that are very like-minded, also just stellar people. And the one thing we all seem to have in common is that rough go. But I believe the rough go is so we can help other people. And I believe God didn't bring me this far to drop me on my butt. I do work still in the recovery community. I go into the jail once a month. I do detox and things like that to keep me remembering who I am. I'm no longer a cucumber. And I just keep showing up the best version of myself, but I had to learn how because we didn't learn how. And that's pretty much where I'm at. I mean, that's pretty much me. That was pretty quick. A little Cliff Notes version. I never believed in myself. And I never thought that I could join the Chamber of Commerce. I didn't think I could sit with those people. I really did. I had such an imposter syndrome since I was a child. And so now what I've learned is I do it anyway. The best way, and I tell my clients, and they start glowing at 3 weeks because they do, and I do what I don't want to. So I didn't want to be at the 7:30 networking call this morning, and they all make me. And I have my own intuition now. What's mine, what's theirs, and all of that, which now is cool because I always go first. There's something wrong with me, not so much. I mean, yeah, sometimes, but a lot of times it's my intuition and to believe that. So when you change things in real time where you don't think you can show up or you don't, I mean, I felt like an imposter in my kids' school every week because I had just gotten sober when they were really little. But I still went. I still went, right? And that's the important part because more when you just show up, things seem to happen and you're changing that belief that you are not good enough. Um, we are always going to have these things. They're going to be there. They just don't have to be triggering and reacting and keeping us from what we're supposed to do here. I think everyone has a big purpose. And I always say, even if it's just to say hi at the grocery store, I really like that shirt because people don't, they're like, oh, thank you. Or I give hugs to people and I go, can I give you a hug? They look at me, but then they want a hug. Um,
Right.
and so, I had this one coach that had me go on the trail or go somewhere and give people hugs just out of the blue. And I'm like, oh, that's easy. Of course, when you start doing it, it's not as easy, but I loved it. And I met so many people. And it was so great just connecting because isn't that what it's all about? We've gotten so lost. And, it's just the change begins with you, right? Begins with me. And if we all keep doing that high vibes more than low vibe, even though you need both, and I just, I want to make a dent here, and I want kids to have what I got to learn so late, right? They have all that already. It's already there. No matter what's going on at home, it doesn't matter. And I do believe it's the educators and people who come in to help because sometimes the parents haven't learned either. So with Thrive, it's bringing everybody to have that awareness. So we start to have the conversations and start to connect. What's really important? We are supposedly on this earth for a very short time. Um, and this isn't a dress rehearsal. We can't remember the next time. And some of us aren't coming back. So, but this is our life and how do we want to live it? And I think a lot of us just have gotten lost. So I
E-
help people wake up. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. What really hits home for me, just in what you just share right there, and I got to ask you this question because I even asked it on Coffee with Chris this morning. Is Let me ask you this: is how we show up not only to life and also in business or whatever that might be, is showing up a big part of, again, showing who people can really see us as those very people in and of themselves. Because if we're not willing to show up for ourselves, then how in the Sam Hill are we going to show up for others?
So true. And it's a lot of us. So coaching is really good for my accountability because I won't tell anyone to do anything I won't do. So I'm very careful what I say. So you have to drink water or what, then I have to do it. I can't not do it, which always goes, oh gosh, my phone's across the room tonight. Really? But it's the accountability piece. If you can't do it for yourself, you can't pass it on. And I
Mm-hmm.
do believe showing up is like 3/4 of the battle because you have to show up for yourself first. So like Love Thyself Lounge on Thursday, it's all about learning those tools, boundaries. If you can't set boundaries, which is trust for yourself, you can't trust yourself. And in turn, it comes out here, everything goes sideways. How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that I'm really kind of a stickler about that because I do really believe that. And we are a word too. It's not,
Yeah.
I just believe that. Like what
So
used to be on a handshake, right? Yeah.
so if showing up is a big part of who you are, then I got to ask you this: was there an event or a time and place that you said to yourself, this is not going to be me anymore? This is going to be the new me. How did that process start, number one? And what was that kind of event or time and place like for you when that happened to you?
Well, I think it's happened a couple times in my life. And I think it's that place of spiritual awakenings, which we have. But I think we have them whether we're aware or not. I think there's different milestones in our life. The more you're aware, the more you can use them. Challenges being gifts, right? When I got sober, that was one of them. Um, I didn't have that high of a bottom as they talk about. I did not. I've done both country club, streets, country club. Um, and that was where I was changing my life. I didn't know the half of it then. And then as peeling of the onion, as I continued to grow, because it's a piece, it's a symptom of a bigger problem, right? And you don't have to be drinking in a bag underneath a bridge too. So with corporate and so forth, and bringing the awareness in, um, that was a big one. But I think the biggest one is when I kind of woke up here with COVID and with looking at how I was being treated very covertly with narcissism and so forth, um, or emotional manipulation, whatever you want to call it. And I don't blame the other because I have a huge part. Like I kept it going for a really long time. I got it. I can take care of it. Total codependent. Another story. But and I work on that. But the place of like, you know what? Enough with the not being good enough. You are good enough. But it took for me to make that decision out loud and aware, it took a bunch of other steps before that. And I do believe the people in your life that you surround yourself with, those 5 people, are really important of how you grow. I
Mm-hmm.
also believe doing things that are all in alignment with whatever you think you want out there. So you may not know who you are, or you might not know that you want to be happy, joyous, and free, or you want to run a business, or you want to do whatever, but you have a glimpse. And for some of us, we didn't learn to dream. And so it took me, I'm like, I can't do that. What you see, what you hear, what you feel, because I don't have any idea. And it took time because I never learned how to do that. My box for myself was really small. And, you know, I'm not afraid. Sometimes that thing, we're afraid of how powerful we are. Maybe, but I just think we don't have the awareness. We just don't know. And then little bits and pieces. So, education and coaching, therapy, I mean, all of it, it all works. One thing isn't, and it helps with you realize that defining moment. Because I think we have different defining moments as we become awake. If you're not awake, you don't know it's defining, right? So, the more level of awareness and emotional regulation and, being mindful of what's from you, because we are always affected out here, everything out here, it's just a screen, it's a waking dream. It's like doing dream work. It's not, it's indicative what's in here, and sometimes I go, oh, that tire, and then I start freaking out because I go, that means this, and then I have to calm down and keep it right size and go, no, it's your tire, but are you running on empty? Are you, and I ask those questions, but I've practiced a long time, right? And it still, we all get triggered, and those triggers are gifts because it shows us where we need to put the light in the shadow work, right? And then we just evolve through that. But it's like whack-a-mole, and it keeps going, and it's not, you don't arrive somewhere. I'm like, I want to stop playing this. I want to be like head in the sand. But I don't. But I sometimes, enough, enough. You get little breaks, and then the more you're on this path and the more that you help people, you don't get as many breaks. That's what I believe. I mean, I'm just like, the people that I work with, we're always just going. Like, it's not the lull and then, oh, something else comes up. No, it's like, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people are now thinking, well, wait a minute. I've known Michelle for a very long time. This is a totally different side than what I know of Michelle and everything like that. So I'm sure people are asking, how did you even embark on the journey that you're on and say, you know what, I am going to do this? And did you even say to yourself, maybe a few times, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have done that and says, no, this is not for me. I can't do it. Did you have those kind of first time iterations of your journey saying, hey, I don't want to do this, but I kind of know I got to do this? And then it maybe over time became a little bit easier for you to say, I'm going to take that next step, going to take that next step, going to take that next step. It's how's that showed up for you?
Maybe when I got sober, it was like that, but not this time. So things can be hard. I didn't know how to use a computer. I mean, this is a whole different world for me. And yes, people see me out and about and they go, God, divorce looks good on you. And
Yeah.
it's not that. I mean, it is that, but it's not. It's like, I am different. People see me very, because I am different. And I'm different without knowing I'm different. School said that would be like that. But it's kind of like with what I'm doing now and with coaching and helping with kids and stuff like that. And I don't think that I can't do it at all. I just, I keep going, it's in our industry, it's a lot of things, a lot of marketing, a lot of stuff. And sometimes I go, oh, you know what? It's time now. Like, really, like, what is, I want to get into the school, or I want, and I just keep going. Like, I get my little tantrum, you guys all know my little tantrum, and then I move on. But it's not like I ever have an idea of quitting. It's never like I can't do it. It's very interesting. I mean, I'm on my path for sure. And that's why when it gets hard, you don't quit, because you have purpose and you have your why. And that's the first thing that we work on with my clients is, why do you want to get in that bikini? It has nothing to do with the bikini. It's way deeper than that. And when you're connected to that, whether you're 16 or you're 5 or you're 65, it's all the same things. We're all not that different.
Yep.
We're
Yep.
humans that we have
And
a
I want to
kind of
get your
funny manual.
yeah, and I want to get your take on this. Michelle says triggers equals activators. What's your take on that?
She's so right. She's my people. It is because so two things about that: triggers or activators where they can propel you into what you're doing. Same like how I got to be a coach, right? Was the breakup of my marriage and my empty nest thing, right? And my hair business being right. But also activators where they activate that part of ourself to look inside and go, well, is that true? I am good enough. And then define different things. And there's a lot of things you can do with that. And that activates that response of like changing the belief system in the subconscious, which you can't see. And you can actually do that even pre verbal with certain cues of your body. And you ask certain questions with like your 5 birthrights. You can actually ask someone, do you feel like you have the right to exist? That's the 0 to 2. And for me, who was a preemie, I can kind of feel that. And I go, huh? And that was before I could speak. So some of these things we learned before X, Y, and Z, right? And they do believe that prenatal and all of that.
And Michelle just said, I think I'm more scared of not taking those next step as they're scary as if they can be. But Michelle, I kid you not, and I want to throw this back over at you, Michelle. If we are scared in taking those next step, what will be the counterbalance to that for us to be able to say, I can do this? Is that maybe hope and faith? Is that a belief in yourself? What would that look like for probably a lot of people?
Well, you could say it's hope and faith, but that's if you're all, oh. Usually the fear part is what propels me, actually. So the fear, like what Michelle said, the fear of not doing it, it's more the fear of, well, I know what happens when I don't do what I'm kind of supposed to. Like, I'm not on my path. The universe has a really funny way of hitting you with a feather or a punch, because that's what happens. And most of us don't do anything until we have to. So if it's frightening for me, because I'm so used to now doing stuff that I don't, that is frightening. I couldn't even talk on LinkedIn audio events for a really long time. And thanks to Michael in his rooms, I'd start to speak. I couldn't talk. I couldn't do this. Even the camera thing, I could not do it. And as you know, everybody, I'm doing it all the time. So it's practice, right? It's changing that no matter what. Faith is not without courage, right? It's either F everything and run, or face everything and recover. And it's a lot easier to say than do. You just have to do it. It's jumping in that cold pool, but it feels great because it's so hot outside. But it's cold at first, right? It's, we don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to be uncomfortable. A lot of us don't want to be uncomfortable. That's one of our problems. And we kind of need to. That's how we grow. We don't grow when we're happy, joyous, and free, unfortunately. We grow when triggers and S hits the fan, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So then the question then becomes, when we do have that pivotal moment, and whatever that might be, that we just don't feel like that we're going to make it, and we're probably at our wits end and everything like that. Maybe if we do know in our heart of hearts that we can do it and we can move forward, and again, I will go to that great Rocky movie years ago when Sylvester Stallone said that it's not about how hard you get hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. And I truly believe that determination is a big thing, number one, in that belief that there will be a better tomorrow because you deem it so. And that's why I truly believe, Michelle, and I want to get your take on this, is that can we have choice? Literally say that, you know what, if I'm going to have this choice and it matters to me, this will be my ultimate path to freedom because I choose it to be.
I think we want to do that. And I think we try to do that, but we get, I don't want to say stuck, but that's that all that other stuff that comes in and tells us very quietly or very loudly, no, you can't really. You didn't do it before. How do you know? How do you know this is going to work out? Because everything you've had before didn't. And that's where the support comes in. That's where the people that you surround yourself in remind you and hold you, that they reflect back to you until you can. And then you'll be able to, and then something else will come up and you'll be like, no, and then you will again. I do believe we don't do this alone. I say that all the time. We are our best resource, but we don't do this alone because I don't see clearly. I don't always see the right thing between these two ears, and I can justify makeup, magical thinking, whatever I want very well. So I
Right?
have people in my life who reflect, and they remind me that I can do it, or it's going to be okay. Just bring your heart, or you've got this, or and they're not people just giving me lip service. These are people that also tell me hard things that don't blow smoke up my right. So it's just, and then you emulate that. And that's the thing with kids as well. It's like there's so much stuff of not feeling that good enough. You're already uncomfortable in your own skin, but when you have peers that start to reflect back to you different things, it's powerful, right? And that's why friends is friends when you're a kid is everything, because that is like your rudder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's possible. I think that there's a lot of things that come into play, but if you're committed and willing to be willing, you can do anything. If it's been done before, you can do it. And I do believe that.
Yeah. So Michelle just shared this. She's like renting mind space to the unknown because you didn't so you would never know. Maybe the regret is a good word, and then she comes back and says, poor, passing over opportunities repeatedly. What's your take on that?
Well, hindsight is 2020, Michelle, right? So I think that we don't really know we're passing up opportunities, because if we thought they were good opportunities, we would take them, right? Even if fear comes in, we don't think it's good for us for what reason. So asking yourself all the way, what's my intention, is really good. Um, because not every opportunity we're supposed to necessarily be right for us. And it might be right for us today, but not tomorrow. You know, I love you, Sharon. So, my people, see, I kid you not. Uh, you know what I mean? So I don't ever think there's a wrong thing anyway. I don't think you can do this wrong if your heart is in the right place and your intentions in the right place for you, not for everybody else out here, not for saying yes when you want to say no and no when you want to say yes. I think if you're in alignment and authentic, number one, vibration, which means being authentic is being what's good, what's not good. Self love, the real definition of self love, I'll tell everybody a secret. There's boundaries, all this stuff, self sabotage. It's actually holding all of it. It's embracing your shortcomings, and that's who you are. They can become gifts very easily, right? But that's who we are. It's not everybody has follies. Everybody, you know, I don't know, blows their nose. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
but we think the perfectionist thing is such a sabotage. But actually, really, if you come that way, you can't do wrong. You can't. You're going to be in the right places. If you're spiritual, you know that it's really easy when you're in flow. Everything just happens. Like it feels like my phone's blowing up and I'm getting in and I'm like, what's going on? And it's
Yeah.
because I'm doing what I'm supposed to, and I'm hearing congratulations from my friends and I'm like, congratulate what? It's not validated. It's just showing you what I'm doing. I don't even see it.
Yeah.
I just keep walking. Right. So yeah, it's just, for kids and young moms and young women, it's a shame has to take so long. Carl Jung talks about this all the time. At midlife, we go inward. We go back and we look. Why can we look earlier? There are a lot of things I could have done, want to do.
Hmm.
I'm still doing them, but I mean, it's like, but you hear that a lot.
Yeah. Exactly. So the thing I like to bring to the table next, because it's really hit me like a ton of bricks, is what does intentionality, flow, and alignment and agreement kind of look like for you in your day to day life? How does that show up for you?
What do you mean? I mean,
Well, do you see number one, maybe that they're interconnected? And when we recognize that change is the constant throughout life, and of course, our place and space in it, that it's also connected to flow because flow is not only a state of mind, but it's a state of being. And then when you look at it from that kind of context, that yeah, you may not be everyone's cup of tea, but you can probably maybe in alignment with them and you start there, or you may be in agreement with them and you start there, or they with you. It doesn't really matter. But that's why reason why I ask you that, because there's a lot of people who are going to end up saying, I'll put you in a box and I only will be with you in these kind of things, but not yet in others. So that is why I truly believe when you put from a place of intentionality plus flow plus alignment plus agreement, it creates a great opportunity not only for you but also for them.
so I don't know about you, but I mean, because um, I don't want to say worked with people my whole life, but I'm pretty good at the connection piece of wherever they're at. It's one of, I want to say it sounds so egotistical, but one of my superpowers
Yeah.
is that I can hang out with people, eating a piece of pizza, on Market Street here in San Francisco, the street, or I can go to the hoity-toity and do all that as well. And I'm the same person in both places. It's just me, but the way that I connect, it's almost not conscious. So if you think about authenticity, alignment, agreement, and all of that, they all do go together because you
Mm-hmm.
can't be authentic without alignment, and you can't without your agreement. I mean, it all goes together. It's like a Jenga puzzle. And I say that for everything, whether it's recovery, whether it's relationships, whether it's, self care. The best morning routine starts with the evening. They all go together. And
Mm-hmm.
so we tend to be all or nothing, black and white, our society too. And we want a map. And we've also, that place of, people putting you in a box. Well, those, first of all, those really aren't my people, but I can help them if they want help. And I won't be in the box when they do that because it's more open minded. It's more knowing that I may not like it over there, but I can understand it and we can share that point of view and I will learn something from it. But it may not be right for me, but I'm not going to make you feel bad or wrong because of it. It's your opinion. And that's how this country was built. But we kind of forgot that. I mean, our forefathers, they didn't agree on things, but we all believed in freedom, right? And so that's gotten lost. It's been a lot more, and it's got to change because if it doesn't, I'm being really political today. If it doesn't, we're going to be end up being like Atlantis. I mean, that's what I believe. or we're going to really, and there's so much shifting right now. I really do believe. Ooh, I got goosebumps. So yes, it's changing. Ooh, really big goosebumps. I get those when it's true, like just my intuition. And the world is changing. It's just not going to be fast enough for a lot of us. And it may not be, it's probably not going to be in our lifetime, like the huge, but it started. And I do believe the people that are here now, we are the pillars of it. We are the ones that are starting it, and people will look back.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds so weird. But this is where the spiritual revolution and making our world the way, with all the knowledge that we have and everything else that it's time.
Yeah, yeah. I probably I've just been like you for many years now. I've seen the writing on the wall. It's there. Where we're starting to really slowly get to that place that we're going to. I truly believe, Michelle, we're destined to evolve, and I truly believe that that's going to be there. But I want to bring this to the forefront because I truly believe you got a lot of insight on that. Let me ask you this: when it comes to the right and wrong kind of dynamic, why do we even have right and wrong per se in what we do and everything like that? Why do we even have that? Why do we so say you can't do this because this is the wrong way? You can't do that because that's not the right way, and things of that nature. Why have we gotten to that point that we can't let that go, or how does that play out? Probably for a lot of us. Do we want to hold on to that?
So that's fear. I mean, I think it comes from fear and control. And I also think, who's making up that it's right or wrong, right? Somebody. And we don't really know if it might be right or wrong for you. And this is where I was like, oh, but I want to be perfect. But perfect by whose imagination? Mine? From where I learned where? It's like, it's such a like, God, I say this every time I'm on here or teach. It's that snake with the tail that keeps biting
Mm-hmm.
itself. I can never say the word, or whatever. I can't never say it.
The
But
vortex.
yeah, it's that snake that keeps biting, and we do that. And the same thing with the right and wrong. So I mean, there's certain things like you don't want to cross the street when a car is coming. That's kind of wrong. Um, I mean, you can go. This is such a rabbit hole, but the bottom line is, whoever made up the rules, or they may not be right for us as an individual as well. But we hold on to it because we don't have anything else. It's fear. It's fear. That's what we know. We think it's safety. It's not safety, but that's what we know. So until more people speak up and say, "Hey, I went through this, and this is where I am now, and I have, forming the life of my dreams, and it's not anything on the outside that comes as a byproduct, right? That's the icing on the cake. um but who says that that's right or wrong? And so that's the open-handedness, which is a whole different way of seeing things, because people also want connections, so they jump into things that may not be right for them, because that's what they want, but they don't realize, it's here first, and that over there is not going to fix that anyway. And they get whoever moves them the most, and history repeats itself. It's this whole thing of what we do, and we have to start doing things differently. And slowly by surely, as we all start doing things differently and asking ourselves the questions and intention of why we think this is right or wrong, or hearing someone else's opinion about why they think it's right or wrong, that's a whole different conversation that's going to come to the table and foster a huge amount of growth and, you know, uh, keys to the kingdom, as I always say, right?
Yep, I love that. And Michelle says that because society makes their that decision, our perceptions are our own. And then Sharon even said this: we need to learn to agree to disagree. We are all supposed to not align with everyone, like everyone, or be liked by everyone. So again, it's just about just recognizing again everything that will be, and you can just let it be. Again, but I got to ask you this, Michelle: when you do connect with people, do you do it through the gift of invitation and you just put it out there and just put it on no timetable or structure or whatever? You just say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, and just leave it at that?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. Like if I meet someone and I want to like go to coffee or something like, I mean, I'm like trying to figure
Or
out.
anything in life. I mean, I truly believe in the gift of
I'm
invitation because
pretty
sometimes if we want that instant gratification or satisfaction in something, we got to put people in that kind of box and say, hey, you got to do this now, or you got to do that now. You don't put it on their timetable most often than not, and I've
No,
done that many times.
no. Yeah. So the thing is with me, I'm like a kid. Sorry, I get kids, and I love what Sharon said. Exactly what she said. Totally agree. That's why she's my buddy. Um. Uh. No, I'm pretty impulsive. I don't. I mean, I. It's so if I meet someone and I talk, I'm in the moment, right? So with everything that I do it kind of passionately, to a fault. That's the other side. Um, I don't think so. When I start thinking, because I believe this for a fact, the brain doesn't know anything, the heart knows. The brain
Mm-hmm.
just kind of uses the subconscious, trying to keep you safe and keep you around. When I go with my heart and I kind of go full throttle, like I just do, like I just show up here and I'm going hiking at 8 a.m. with people I don't know, but okay, there's a chamber, whatever, and it's really early, but it's like I just do. Like I don't really think about that. Um, very much at all with anything. I tell people I love them. I'm really warm and fuzzy. I jump on people's laps. I'm like probably I don't care. Like I give hugs everywhere because that's who I am. So I don't, that's who I am. So I don't, Sharon might be a little different, and Sharon is, and energetically, sorry, Sharon, but is a little bit different, but she still has the same heart, the same ideas, the same things. That's what's so cool. And what she said was true. We have to start honoring people's differences and honoring, because we can also learn from them. We're actually hurting ourselves if we're taking one side, because there's so much other stuff that comes in. We're really hurting ourselves, right? Um, we've really kept ourselves small in a very funny way, and we've created a lot of chaos, and not intentionally. And I don't think people are innately trying to da da da. We're just, people are just lost. We're all, wake up at different times and realize what's important. And, I think, COVID is I don't want to say it's a leveling thing. I mean, people had a lot of problems with COVID and so forth. And I mean, I lost three-fourths of my clients. Like I was the top of my game before COVID, you know, working a lot. And it was the best thing that happened to me because, ooh, I got chills. Oof, I'm gonna cry. Okay. So because everything really just went, I had no other way to go up. I could either start drinking or whatever, be off of a cliff somewhere, right, or hurt someone, or worse, or I could do what I do and just keep going, keep walking, even if I'm scared. Go to class, go talk to my coaching partner for school, is my best friend, one of my best friends. I just did that, but I could have done the other, and I would say not right now. It's going to be a name of a book someday, I think, about how to change your thinking in those moments of grief and in your moments of, and you're still trying to rebuild at the same time. So imagine, and this goes for anyone, men or women, when you go through grief and you're also trying to rebuild and find yourself at the same time, it is a whole thing, but you can do it baby steps, and then not right now to do something else, and not like take that, because it's so like there's so much other stuff, and it
Right.
can be done, right? But we don't do it alone.
Absolutely. And hello, Rachel. Glad to see you here because she said hugs are the touching of hearts. Love that. That's really good. Glad to see you here today. But I got to ask you, Michelle,
Mm.
in the great stuff that you have been doing in your own right, and I truly believe what you've been doing is just truly amazing in and of itself. And I've literally just fell in love right from the very get go when me and you met and everything. And hey, the dog wants to be the star of the show now. There you go.
I
Bring in
know
the
she
dog.
does. I know she does. I used to put her on the camera all the time. Hey, I know you're trying to protect me, but I'm really good. Come sit down. Come sit. She's little. She thinks she's a Doberman. She's so funny. Okay.
Nice, nice,
So what
nice.
were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Uh,
You were saying.
like I said, love the work that you've been doing and everything like that. But I want to go find out from you now. What is the next chapter now of Michelle? What are you currently doing? Because I've heard it through the grapevine that you're doing something called Thrive Alliance now. What's going on with that?
Sharon, Jesse, where are you? You have to come up here. I don't go anywhere with them. They're like, yeah, they're on each side of me. Like I don't. They're my left hand, right hand, head, everything else. So Thrive Alliance is a really amazing project. We met here at BHT, which is kind of cool. Like I said, the people I've met on LinkedIn have been. It's really neat because people do come to you that are supposed to, right, on your path. And it's it's um, it's almost hard for me to describe, but it touches every aspect of humanity of life, whether it's corporate and people connecting in and feeling like they want to be a part of and being the best they can be there, but also at home with
Right.
kids and parents communicating with their kids and the kids feeling safe to do that. Kids at risk, right? And I know that's not the word you're supposed to use now, but kids are in trouble, and I think kids are at risk period right now anyway. I don't care what they people say. And also, areas of learning new skills, so not only emotional social development, but also, having a garden and hiking and taking nature in and really getting back to the basics, but learning the tools we all didn't learn in a very big way. So, respite houses for teens, so they don't have to live on the street if they're having problems at home, but they also can learn things about drugs and alcohol, not a rehab, but also to build that self love. Everything comes down to being enough. The one thing everybody says is that people don't feel enough. That's the number one thing for everybody. I don't care who they are. And that comes down to self love. So that's really, as I've gone self love coach, self love strategist, blah, it's all about self love, right? Because that's where it starts. So yeah, so Thrive Alliance, and if Jesse and Sharon want to give their take as well, they have a different piece that they bring in as well. But it's amazing, and we just keep moving. Oh, you're right here. Can you talk? Can you get on here?
And
Oh,
I sent the link in the event post, so it's there. So
I
if you
want to
guys
see
want to
you.
join into the conversation, everyone, I highly suggest, especially those on LinkedIn, go right here. Let me go check it out and everything. In fact, I'll actually repost it because it's really way up there because it didn't show up in the initial feed. Um, but I'll put it in there and say uh, right here. So let me go to the event page and bring it up and do that because I did put it there so everyone can be on there. So here is the link and how you can join the call. So everyone, it may say a LinkedIn uh, short link, but it's actually going. It will go to us here. So um, this is the link. You guys can click that link. You can get right there, and that will be the place that you can do that from and everything. And we would love to see you here on the call. So, like I said, Sharon, Michelle, Rachel, even Keith, we would love to have you here. And
Okay.
I will actually also put the actual StreamYard link in here so people can see it. So you can
Sometimes
join here.
Streamline, yeah, sometimes it's hard for me to get on too. I don't know why. I mean, it was okay today, but it took a few times. It's not so easy.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know why that is because StreamYards are finicky thing and everything, so we know how that goes. And in fact, there she is. Sharon is with us today. Hello, Sharon. How are you doing today on Wonderful Wednesday?
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
I guess
about to
those.
lose it.
I think those internet gremlins were getting at it. I think that's what they were doing.
She'll come back. She always
Yep.
comes. I was getting choked up when I saw her. And my heart's for
Mm-hmm.
sure. hmm And
You,
I believe that.
Jesse, and Sharon are just amazing people, and like I said,
Mm, thank
you
you.
have blessed me beyond words.
No,
All of
thank
you
you.
have, and those are the kind of people that I just truly believe are meant to be here because they see opportunities in and of itself, see a way forward. And there's our great friend and partner here at Bring Humanity Together, Keith. Hello, Keith. You must be at Panera yet again.
Hi, Keith. I like Panera now. I've been liking it.
Well, I'm trying to get my phone to switch over to my.
All righty. So Keith, what say you today? How are you doing today?
I am doing well. This has been an amazing conversation, Michelle. It's great to learn more about you, about your background. I know we have connected before, but not into this depth. So I'm just glad to really find out about who is Michelle. So, um, yeah, I know now. I know now.
Now you know. And it changes though. You have to keep up with me. It's evolving, just like everything else. But that
Yeah,
story
it's just
doesn't change much, right? I mean, that part doesn't change so much.
yeah, we're just moving forward from here. We'll see where that goes. So, but I'm just really excited to learn more about Thrive Alliance. Great work that you, Jesse, and Sharon have been doing. And yeah, kudos. Just sit back and listen to learn more about you. Hopefully, Jesse and Sharon would be, if they're here, I don't know if they're able to step up on stage and support and just tell us more about the overall mission. But yeah, this is about you. This is your time. So I'm going to take a back seat and just listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. It was nice seeing you. Nice
You
seeing you.
too.
So, so Keith, the question then becomes though, how's Sierra doing? Is she doing great today?
I think Sierra is like after traveling for like 3 days and whatever else and having very strange sleeping patterns and meeting a whole bunch of people. She's like, I am good. She's on like a whole rest. Like she was so quiet last night. I didn't hear her. I'm like, my friends were like, check her to see if she's okay. Is she alive in there? She's like laying down upside down, like with her head. She was just so tired because she was out everywhere. We were in Sacramento from Friday and just got back, a day ago. But it was just like, wow, yeah, it was fun. But yeah, she's doing well, and just yeah, hopefully we can learn more about Michelle. So I know there were some fires happening in your area too, as well. Like I think somewhere near there. Well, actually, no, further south. My bad. So I know in Kern County there were some fires that were pretty big happening. But yeah, there's lots of stuff happening throughout California, and it's always trying to stay aware of everything, and it's so hard at times. But here is Sharon. So hi, Sharon. How are you?
Hello,
Hi,
Sharon.
Keith.
How
Hi,
are you doing
Chris.
today?
Hi, Michelle. I'm great. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. How things go in your neck of the woods?
Things are awesome, Chris. Things are awesome. Thank you. Hope
Nice,
they are
nice,
for you too.
nice. So, Sharon, we got to know more from you about Thrive Alliance.
What do you want to know? Thrive Alliance is
Sharon?
it's a yeah. I'm thinking of the word I'm trying to think of, Chris. It's Thrive Alliance is a labor of love. It is a vision that all three of us have had probably since we started our coaching journey or our coaching journeys. And we are just three people that are very different, but very much alike.
Right.
And we're more alike than we are different. And I know you've said that a lot, Chris, but we are truly more alike than we are different. But we've come at this topic or these topics that we coach on. We've come at them from different angles, and so now we see the benefit and the value of bringing the different angles together and bringing the message out into the world as a team, as opposed to trying to do it individually. So, for me, Thrive Alliance has been, well, first of all, working with Jesse and Michelle is beyond anything I can say. And what I love these two people more than I could ever say. They are truly my biggest supporters. They are more than just colleagues. They have truly become friends in the process, and it has been just amazing to go through this process and this journey. And the beautiful thing about it is, while we're creating this community of Thrive Alliance, we are growing and we are evolving and we are learning and we are supporting each other through that, because we have learned a lot of lessons that we weren't anticipating coming up through this learning process, about ourselves as people, about ourselves as coaches, about ourselves, about business and business strategies and connections and things. So it's been a learning curve for all of us in a lot of different ways, but we have each other's back, and each one of us is just truly committed. And I don't mean this conceited the way it might like to sound conceited, but each one, the passion that we all have, for what we do is what is driving the team of Thrive Alliance. I mean, we are just we're on different coasts, but we stay up till all hours of the night and morning, and we are just pounding the virtual pavement, pounding the actual pavement. There's not a place that we go or things that we do that we don't mention all of what we do, and Thrive Alliance as well, because Thrive Alliance is very important to us. It's where we're putting the majority of our energy, but we all also still do our individual things because our individual things support Thrive Alliance in a sense. So, and that's also really nice because we support each other with our individual ventures as well.
Right.
But we know that our individual ventures are going to fit in, or fit into what we do with Thrive Alliance. So it's been amazing. And that's
Truly
really,
blessed.
I never, okay, I've always had this vision. Okay. And I know, Michelle, you say this a lot, so please jump in. This is your show. You're the guest of honor, but we've all always had this vision. And so to see this vision that we've all had now truly becoming a reality because we're working together, and it's blood, sweat, and tears. Like, let's not, nothing about this is simple. Nothing about this is easy, but to quote Jesse, even though he's not here, we're in flow. And so, it's just been, I don't know. I can't say enough good things about it. I can't find the word. I really can't find the words that expresses the feeling I have for what we're doing and for who I'm doing it with, truly. So
And like I said, Sharon, before you came on, between you, Jesse, and Michelle, and great people like Keith and Michelle and Rachel, and the great and amazing movement and community that we have here, bringing men together, I've just been so humbled and honored by each and every single one of you. But I want to ask you both this very question. Michelle, what's the one thing that you probably learned from Sharon?
I've learned a lot from Sharon. Um, even when you go through things, you can still be connected.
Yep.
You can still be with like, I'm better at this now, but when I would get upset or whatever things would be happening, I would have to just shut down or whatever. And maybe that was how I had to deal with it. But you can still go through things or have things happen and still be connected and show up. And I admire the way that Sharon shows up, not just when things, but just the way, just honest and present and no smoke up your butt. That's the other thing I like about Sharon. Sharon tells me the truth. And such a loving heart, and also still is able to ask for help and also be in relationship to when things are dicey or whatever. And that's what I learned, that it doesn't have, you don't have to throw the baby out with bathwater, because I'm usually really good at that. Oh, screw it, I don't want to do it, goodbye, gotta go. I mean, that's how I handled stuff. I know now, so I don't do it even though I want to. I stop myself because I know. But I learned from Sharon, and the way she's brilliant. You know that, right? She's like so intelligent. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. She blows me away of how intelligent. I don't even think she realizes, no offense, you're here, how intelligent you really are. So more will be revealed, but
well,
wickedly
thank
smart.
you.
Right.
Appreciate all your kind words, really, from the bottom of my heart.
I love you.
My life is better because you're in it. So I don't know if Keith wants to say something before I answer your question, Chris. So
I was, oh my God, I was just going to say, please save the baby. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Save the babies. Thank you, Sharon, for helping her save all the babies.
Yeah.
But Sharon, I really want to find out from you, what's the one thing you've learned from Michelle?
I can't answer what's one thing I've learned from Michelle. That's
Well,
really
whatever that might be,
no, no,
just
no.
say it.
Listen, listen. Well, let me finish, Chris. Let me answer your question. There's not the reason I say it that way, Chris, is because there's not one thing that I've learned from Michelle. We've worked together for first of all, Michelle and I we did meet. We did become better connected through meeting here, but we did kind of know each other before bringing humanity together.
Mhm.
Um, so there's a lot. I mean, we go back a while now. And so there's lots that I've learned from Michelle. But what I will say is this Michelle and I are very, very similar. But I think one of the most important things that I've learned from Michelle that I take with me every day is, as she said, the true definition of self love and embracing all of me and not feeling like I have to hide the negative parts of me because I've lived my life with people around me falling in love with me literally romantically or even just as friends, you know, wanting to be my friend, and the reasons they have wanted to, the things that they were attracted to about me became things that they used against me when our friendship ended or when my marriage ended. And so, you know, the things they once loved about me became the things that they said they became most annoyed at, which was like bizarre to me. And it really put me in a funk, and it put me in a self-doubt and a do I really want to show up? And yes, I want to show up, but I'm afraid to show up, but I'm going to show up anyway. And so Michelle has really taught me um, just to show up and be me. And you know, I have a saying, we have a similar saying, but I have a saying that I'm one of the sayings I use for myself and I've taught my clients is that I'm perfectly imperfect. And so Michelle has helped me embrace that even more. um and Another thing I've learned and loved, absolutely love about Michelle is Michelle has one of the kindest hearts that I've ever been blessed to be around. But Michelle too is a no nonsense kind of gal, and she'll tell you honestly, you know, the good, the bad, and the in between. Um, but when Michelle does that, she she holds your hand through it and she holds your heart through it. She doesn't come at you like with a dagger or a sword, and you know, put it through your back or put it through your heart. She's right there to say, hey. And Michelle has also encouraged me to continue to speak up, and continue to say how I feel. So there's so much more I could say about what I've learned from Michelle and what I love about Michelle, but we don't have enough time. I don't have enough words. The English
I'm
language.
learning to receive no more. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
I love
So,
Maybe it just boils down to this, that the very act of giving is in the very act of receiving.
I had a class on that. You missed it last week. Sorry.
yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
it is.
Michelle, tell him
See?
I told you about that whole concept, right? I gave you the
Right.
book, right?
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
gave you
Oh,
the
that's
name
a
of the book
great
anyway.
book. That's a great book, by the way. We share books too. But it does go hand in hand. It does because, well, there's a whole thing about it, but you can't really have one without the other kind of thing because it kind
Yeah.
of works. And it's also, I mean, the big thing is the receiving place. Like I thought if I didn't receive, I couldn't manifest. This is how it all started. So I had to trick myself as usual. But also the people that are trying to give me or whatever, I'm basically not, I care about them and I'm like I'm saying, "Oh no, sorry, it's not they're wanting to do something and I'm taking it away from them by not receiving. It's
Yeah.
their process." And so that also another way to trick, but that thing receiving is it's still there's certain areas where I'm like, "Ooh, still want to jump out of my skin. This is okay." And I love Sharon and I know and it makes me feel good and I get really choked up because she teaches me. She's my sister. She's my family, you know, and so is Jesse. And I see him down there somewhere and he's not up here. So, but Jesse, you gotta get up here. I need your sermon.
Jesse's hiding in the bushes.
I need a sermon. But yeah. So
Yeah.
we're blessed. I mean, and yeah, go big or go home. I mean, we're blessed.
Yep.
Really blessed.
Absolutely.
Here's the
Absolutely.
thing. Here's the thing that I always say too. It is go big or go home. It's also that we are greater than our circumstances, and we are. Wayne Gretzky has a quote that I live by. There's a few quotes that I live by, but his always stands out to me, and it's you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So what do we? With us working together, believe me, we've missed some shots, and we're going to miss many more. But we've also scored some goals in this process, and we're going to score many more goals. And we've truly got each other's back, and we've got Thrive's back. Like we are. People might get offended by the way I'm about to say this, but it's the only way I have to say it. So I apologize in advance, but we are very protective of Thrive, but not in a negative way. Honestly, we are protective of it because we have a real vision, and we want to welcome people into that vision, but we'll do it at the appropriate time because we don't know what steps are going to lead to what. So we know that we're going to need more people in this vision because we're starting locally in our towns, but honestly, we want this to be duplicatable in other states from our own. We want this to be a global thing so we know we're going to need other people. We're only 3 people, and we may be 3 amazing people, and we may stay up till all hours of the freaking day and night, but we know Jesse!
No, I'm really going to lose it.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys?
Doing well. Jesse came from out of the bushes and decided to show his nice face.
No more hiding. I'm here. We're here. This is where we at.
Jesse is in the house. Yep.
How are you guys? Everybody's okay?
Now we are complete.
Are complete.
We're
the holy triad.
All right. So Jesse, I'm going to ask you for Chris because I'm curious. What do you want to add to what Michelle said or what I said or whatever?
I think now is the time. Now is the time to just use all of our skills, all of our resources, everything that's in our minds and our hearts to push forward and to allow ourselves to accept what we've been given because we've all been given an awakening. This is our time to use every skill we have at our fingertips and not let anything or anyone stop it. This is for the community. This is for the children. This is for the babies because our society is in dire need of these changes. We must strategically, intelligently, and empathically impart the wisdom to bring change. We are the instruments of change. We are trying to lead generations to a higher plateau so they can see themselves at a higher plateau. We want to take them to a higher mountain so nothing or anything can stop them because our society needs education. We need financial literacy. We need families to come together, to commune, to express the demons that are inside, to uplift the spark so no one can stop them. So we, as Thrive, with all of us, as bringing humanity together, all of us have the capacity to give. We have the capacity to love. We have the capacity to bring things about that are necessary in our community because our God gave it to us. Hello, Lady Drew, how you doing? It gave it to Lady Drew as well. It gave it to everybody here today because we have power, and that's what we bring with Thrive. We are thriving for our humanity. We're thriving for our society. We're thriving with intelligence, with will, with love, with truth, with peace, with passion, with heart. We must have heart when we do this because that's how we inspire the children. We cannot use it with dead actions. We have to show and prove everything we do every single day, Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's how we thrive and that's how we live.
Well said, Jesse. Well said.
But it's true. Every little thing he said, and all of us have had adversity, and it's not without why we're here. So I just believe that. Like we have. I don't want to say we have a responsibility, but we kind of do.
No, we do. Because, Michelle, I don't want to interrupt you, but we do. We adults have a responsibility to make better choices for this planet so that we can leave our children in a better state.
And
we
before
have
that,
to make the
break them.
choices to do this so that we can empower them, because that's why family is so important. And by the way, family is a corporation, family is a
No
business,
doubt. It's where it
family.
starts.
So all the learning starts at home. And I don't, when I say family, I have to say this every time I'm on a platform now, because I'm getting pushback, because I don't see family as a mother, father, sister, brother. I see family as whatever your family unit looks like. If it's a single parent, it's a single parent. If it's a dual parent, a dual parent household of the same sex parents, different sex parents, if it's your mother, your aunt, your uncle, a guardian, I don't care. Family unit means,
and guess what? We're all family.
well, that's
The
what I'm
United
saying.
States,
But
globally, it's
so for
all.
me, family unit means whoever you can go to support you and teach you and build you up. That's a family. So, and family is okay. Children are the future of our society. Hello, children are the future leaders of our world. So we have to think about what we are doing right now. So we do have a responsibility, Michelle, whether we want it or not, and whether you have children or not. Because I hear this a lot. Whether you currently have children or not, you still have a responsibility as an adult to leave this world better than you found it for the next generation. What would you? Oh, sorry, Chris. I give it back to you now.
I think we're also breaking generational trauma, all of us.
I
I
think
do. I think
also
it's all
too
of us.
is when we create something, we're creating a foundation for growth. It's like anything else. So we're creating a foundation for growth. So someone else is going to pick up the torch that we're lighting right now. And just like the Olympics, they're going to pass it to the next person. And then the next person is going to improve it. So each person is improving upon the original model. That's the idea of Thrive. We're teaching leadership because we don't need followers. We need to teach leaders. Our society right now has too many followers. We need to have leaders who fit into different roles. Just like when you have on a basketball or football team, everyone's a star, but you have role players who fit into different roles. And when you fit into different roles, you know what your position is. You're happy and confident in that position, and you know that you're respected. And so that's what everyone is doing globally in the world. And I believe what Thrive is doing that, we're impacting them in a positive manner. We're showing them mentorship, and we're giving them guided details so they can structure their lives so they don't have to always stay at Thrive. They can go home and build their own individual Thrive or learn what Thrive has already taught them, because education is the most important thing in our society, and family is the next important thing. And if we're mixing these particular subjects together, we're creating a cohesive society that can be revitalized. Because right now we're in a state of where we're not necessarily revitalized, we're going in many directions. And when we're going in many directions, that's when the state of confusion happens. And we go into Deluluville pretty much. But right now, Thrive is bringing people together so they can see their true passion within Thrive. It's a place that's a making. So when you're making something, everyone can fit parts in there and build upon that. We're building bridges to new realities by even using the AI program that we're talking about. The AI program is essential to our community because, as we can see, many of the jobs that we hold dear right now may not necessarily be there. So by giving them a leg up right now with the AI programs, teaching the elders as well how to use the AI, because we can never forget our elders. We have to teach them everything that we learn. We have to break down a lesson plan that's easily digestible for our elders so they are able to feel confident and comfortable in the seat that they're sitting in and not feel like they're just being bothered or bothering others. So with Thrive, we're giving them that component, if you will. We're giving them that seat at the table and not saying that you're a passenger. No, you're driving, but you just might not be driving today. You just might be putting the gas in the car, but that's still essential. So someone else may be driving tomorrow. So we're all playing different roles within the grand matrix of what education truly is, because education is truly a holistic process that involves the mind, body, and soul. And when all three are united, it becomes amplified. And everyone, just like us all right here, we're all amplified in our own individual goals. But the one thing that we all care about is love. Another thing is family. Another thing is food, clothing, and shelter. And when we put all those things within Thrive, nothing can stop it. That's pretty much it. You know?
If I may, it boils down to this: love, care, honest, be honorable, be assisting, caring, and learn and teach. Work together, grow each other up. Take what you have and teach each other to do better. Keep an open mind so that way you can learn what you already know, how to do it even better and better ways to do it.
Right.
If we don't do this, we've already seen what the politicians, mayors, and all that are doing. We have
Yeah.
got to unite as people, and we are from one creator, so we're all connected. We got to vote for the right ones, and we got to vote for the right things so that we can all do better. All this stuff you see on TV, I've worked there, as many of you know. I'm a professional jazz singer. I've been across the world many times. They do, after they get done tearing each other down, if they really like each other, they'll go out to dinner. They'll have luncheons. They'll celebrate their kids' birthdays together. What you don't see is what you don't know. I do, because I participated in it. I was invited to their luncheons, dinners, birthday parties, and things. But we've got to vote for the right individuals, the right things, and then we can all be stronger. Blessed be.
Thank you, Lady Drew.
Thank you, Lady Drew.
Let's go, Lady Drew. I love the energy.
I know.
Love you.
I love.
Love your energy.
You always bring your heart. What I say about you, you always show
Darling,
up for
as
the
many of
people
you
that you
already
care
know,
about. You
I
support.
am the Wonder Woman with the Siamese cat personality, so all I gotta say is me, yow, baby.
You were like the cheerleader. So good. So good.
Yeah, thank you, Lady Drew. What I would just like to add, what's really important about this conversation itself, it's what we're showing here today. And Jesse's been mentioning it, Michelle, Sharon, Lady Drew. It's about that collaborative effort. It's not just one person that's actually going to fulfill this mission. Thrive Alliance will not work if it's just 3 people.
No.
It's going to take the world. It's going to take everyone to actually want to become a part of it, want to actually believe in the mission and allow Thrive Alliance in, or for them to open their door, to open their hearts, open their minds, and be willing to move forward and to disassociate themselves with the complacency and the mediocrity that exists throughout the world. We need to step
And
away
being
from that.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Too many
And
people, too
be
many, too many
comfortable.
people are hiding behind their brands, whether it be their personal or professional brands. So many people say they care about these initiatives that are out there in the world, but yet they fail to collaborate. Yet they fail to share or engage with other people. If it does not speak upon them, and if it's not coming from their mouth, it doesn't mean anything. So it's time for us to get past that, and this is going to be an amazing time for the pilot for Thrive Alliance to see how it will work in the local areas before it's hitting nationally, and to look at all those milestones that you passed together, and then to build and to show everybody how much stronger we are together, and to truly collaborate with our hearts. Thank you, team.
Keith, I apologize. I didn't know that you weren't finished. I just wanted to say thank y'all for your event and for everyone being here.
Oh, love you, Lady Drew. Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Lady Drew.
showing up. And thanks for always showing up for me and sending me messages.
Yeah. So, Keith, it is about that time, sir, is it not?
It is. We've been trying to be a better steward of time, because well, we always seem to go
May
over,
I
but
just
we
add
realize,
one more quick
yeah,
thing, Keith? I'm sorry to
sure.
interrupt. I just wanted to take a chance to mention that Thrive Alliance is going to be having our first LinkedIn audio room today at 2 Pacific. I can do this. 4 Central and 5 Eastern. So we'd love for as many people as can to join us. We will be sharing more deeply about what Thrive Alliance is about, how it came about, and also we will be inviting people to the stage to share their thoughts and their visions within our vision, as well as to ask questions. And so the more the merrier. And if you're available, join us. It is the first one. It will be something we're going to do consistently. I'm pretty sure we're keeping it at the same time every week. Am I correct, team? Okay.
Dan,
Yes,
can you
right
mention
now.
that again? I missed it. What is it called, so I can know what to look for?
It's
I think Thrive. I
Michelle,
think
how'd
it
you
just
title
says
it?
Thrive Alliance Audio.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So thank you. And Keith, thank you. I know you're keeping to time, and I'm not going to delay time. I just wanted to mention that as well.
No, that's essential. We want to make sure we're supporting the mission of Thrive Alliance. So What I was going to do at this point in time is just to go around the room before we close out and to see if there's any last words or call to action. So, Sharon, is there anything that you would like to add at this time besides the shout out for the meeting?
I just want to encourage everybody to be supportive of each other. I'm witnessing a lot of people say they're not in competition with each other, but their actions aren't aligning with their words. So look, I'm not judging when I say this. I'm just asking. My call to action is notice what you're noticing and give yourself give yourself a reality check. I give myself a reality check every day. And not only that, my teammates here, my family, Michelle and Jesse, I will speak for myself. They give me a reality. I ask them for a reality check. And the reality check is, am I being hard on myself? And they'll tell me if I'm being hard on myself. And then they'll also say, well, we get you, but what if you thought about it this way? So be open to giving yourself a reality check. Find the people that you trust. Find the people that can tell you the hard things and support you through the good. And really, really listen, because that's my, besides joining us for our audio event, that's my call to action, is for everybody to notice be okay with checking in with yourself. Celebrate your wins, but also really look at where you can grow, because that's what's going to make the world change. And my dog agrees. She couldn't be quiet.
Hey, I don't know whose puppy that is. Give him a hug and a kiss from me. I love it.
I will.
So, Lady Drew, do you have any final words for us today?
Yes. Let's not just say these things. Let's do these things. And for those that are introverts, I definitely have never been. I would fail miserably at being one. But I'm an extrovert, and bring out your words. Let people hear from you, because you don't know what words is going to inspire someone else to come out of their shell and celebrate and help others too. Thank you.
True.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lady Drew. And we see that each and every day when we have these planned calls or spontaneous calls. Last night, Michelle and I, we decided to do a call. We had over 60 people that were on for 4 hours, on and off, and amazing individuals that were coming up on stage. So think about that time, that whenever you're feeling like you would like to open up a space because you need some space, there's probably some other people out there in the world that are feeling exactly the same. So don't just do it for you, do it for them. You all can come together. So I'm now going to go over to Jesse. So what are your final words, call to action for everyone today?
I think you should just search yourself out and find what your true path is in life by facing yourself. Spend some time doing some introspection and decompartmentalize what's inside the mind. And then you'll find what love truly is. And that's how you can give love back to the world.
Awesome advice. We should have had you on the dating conversation yesterday. So, we're joining. Part 2 is today, though. Part two. Okay, now over to actually, no, Chris, the person who's gonna go last is gonna be Michelle. So we're gonna go on to you, Chris. So let us know what your call to action is and your final words, and then we'll end off with the Queen, Michelle.
Well, thank you so much, Keith. And I'm so humbled and honored to have each and every single one of you here today. And also, I'm so humbled and honored to have Michelle watching today, and Rachel watching, and Victoria watching, and Charles too as well. I simply just put out this to the world today. Everyone, just be willing to show up. Because if you can show up to life, you can show up to anything if you choose it to be so. Because again, choice is the ultimate path to freedom. And if you choose to show up, people will not only choose to show up to you, but they may even choose up to invite you to something that's far bigger than you. And that's one of the greatest gifts. Again, through the gift of invitation, if you just let it be, it will be. So that's my call to action. Just be willing to show up.
Thank you, Chris. We appreciate you creating this space for everyone, and for bringing humanity together, and being the reason why Thrive Alliance is together. Oh my God, I'm gonna need a drink, like not a real drink, just a Panera drink. Listen,
I'll go for a
I'm
real
gonna get some
drink.
green.
That thing is a cake to be fine.
That would be fine for me too, as well.
Yeah,
Later on,
fine.
though.
That's
Later
10 drinks. You're gonna be under the table. Sorry.
Oh
Maybe
my
not.
God, we'll see what happens there. Okay, so I just want some green tea. That's it, with a little bit of lemonade. We're fine. But anyways, we're gonna go over to Michelle so you can close out the room. Thank you so much again for being vulnerable and showing up and showing out for the community and letting us know more about what you have working, what you have planned right now, what you're developing with Sharon and Jesse for Thrive Alliance. So the mic is yours, Michelle.
Thanks. If I can say it without bawling, I'm really choked up. This was wonderful, and I'm so grateful and blessed. But I want to say, first of all, we don't do this alone. And I'm looking at faces here. We don't. And we do continue to grow and evolve. But what keeps coming up for me in the ending of this conversation, about finding your passion and finding out what you like to do and what's fun for you, and then be more there. But I think more anything, I think it's compassion. I think for me, so all these things or whatever, but the compassion piece is how would you talk to a friend, is how you have to talk to yourself. And maybe the person over there that's not a friend, maybe you talk to them that way too. And maybe it's that just that extra smile at the store. I really firmly believe as we go out in the world, it, being the change and having big things doesn't have to be big. It's little. The little ripples is what makes another ripple and another ripple. And just remember that we have everything inside of us, but we didn't learn. So have compassion for yourself if you don't know. And I would say lean on somebody today. Like ask, the uncomfortable ask is going to give you huge dividends. And so be open to trusting those people that are close. And if you don't have people around, I don't know who's watching or whatever, all of us here, I'm sure you can message us and we will be there. So there's a lot of people that are willing to show up as that friend too. So be open, and it's compassion, right? I think we need compassion for everybody, everything, even politicians. All of it needs compassion. There needs to be a lot of healing, a lot of trauma informed healing, because even with COVID, we were trauma. Everyone has trauma. I don't care. CTPSD, everybody. So just to remember that. Remember, love is my religion, and truthfully, it all starts with us, though. So, keys to the kingdom. Thank you.
Keith, can I add one thing to what Michelle said?
Yeah, of
Because
course.
she sparked something for me that I want to share with the community. Would that be okay? All
Sure.
right. So I appreciate it. So the one thing that I've been saying to people lately is this: stay connected to your why. If you're losing traction on what you're doing, you need to go back to your why. There's a lot of noise out there online, in the community, from your relatives that there's a lot of unsolicited advice, but people are well meaning. Their intentions are usually good. But I want to encourage people, if you're getting confused or annoyed or lost by the noise, quiet the noise and go back to your why, your passions, and your missions, and that will center you to be able to find your tribe again and really connect with what matters to you. Like Michelle was saying, and Jesse, you have to connect what matters to you, or none of it is gonna, it's not gonna work, because you're not gonna feel connected to it.
But
So
you
that's
may
all I
not
wanted to
know.
add. Thank you for letting me
But
add
you
it.
may not know what your purpose or why is. So look at the things that you like to do, right? That may light you up and make you happy. And
Well, that
talk
is
to
your
a friend.
purpose and your why. That is your purpose and your why. Like if you just connect with
Right.
what matters to
Right.
you,
Right.
that is
But a
your,
lot of people, I didn't know what I mean, I didn't. Some of us kind of had some of inkling anyway, but not everybody does. So to find that, yeah, important.
Well, thank you all again for sharing. And again, don't be afraid to show up as authentically yourself and to let your voice be heard. That's a big thing. If you've been following any of my posts, my mute button is way off. It's broken. Like, it will never be working again. I smashed it. So it's like, now it's time to actually get out there and not worrying about taking care of everything, doing everything. It's doing something. Everyone needs to take one positive step every single day of their life and do something that's going to lead them towards their path. Whether it's your personal, professional path, you need to make sure you're doing something every day. Don't miss out on the one opportunity that you have every single morning. You get that gift, you get a new present every single day to be alive and to move you closer. Use it. Don't take it for granted. And thank you again to Michelle, to Chris, to Lady Drew, to Jesse, to Sharon, to Charles, Michelle, Victoria was here. There's some other people that were on the chat too as well. Anyone that I missed, I apologize. And looking forward to seeing you on the next Bringing Humanity Together call. So if you'd like to learn more about us, please feel free to join our group that we have on LinkedIn, and also check out our website at bringinghumanity.com. Until next time, hope everyone has a great day. Remember, if I help you, you help me, we help we. Let's all lift each other up and have a great day. Be safe, everyone.
Have a great day,
Love
everyone.
and
Make it your day on
gratitude.
Wonderful
Thank
Wednesday.
you.
Thank you so much.